నమస్కారం.
నమస్కారం అండి.
ఆ! అదే ఒక 5 నిమిషాల్లో, 2 నిమిషాల్లో మొదలు పెడదాం. కొంచెం
అలాగే.
పార్టిసిపెంట్స్ వచ్చేస్తే.
అలాగే.
నమస్తే. వెల్కమ్ టు ద ధర్మమూలం ప్రోగ్రామ్. We completed 2 sections. One is on Rishi Parampara, Guru Parampara. Another one on Purana and Itihasa. Today we are starting on a Dharma related. Why it is relevant today, and Mr. Garu, I'll request.
నమస్కారం అండి.
Namaste. I will request Sitaram to introduce, and then from there
Thank you.
we will hand over to you.
So it is my great honor to introduce today's speaker. So we'll always start with our Mangala Shlokam. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmatacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Today's professor is Professor Sannidhanam Sudarshan Sharma Garu of Rashtriya Sanskrit Vidya Peeta, and he's currently serving as the Vice Chancellor of the Sri Venkateshwara Vedic University at Tirupati in his third successive term. He has 29 publications and he has conducted numerous national and international seminars. He is fluent in Sanskritam, English, Hindi, Telugu, and German. An acclaimed researcher, he has contributed to 3 Skanda project. He has been awarded the titles of Veda Vidya Niti by Waves Conference, Orlando, USA, and the Swadanya Chaturana Veda Ratna and Vidya Vachaspati by the Akhila Bharati Vidvat Parishad Varanasi. I welcome you, Professor.
గ్నయే నమః పృథివీ నమ ఓషధీభ్యః నమో వాచే నమో వాచస్పతయే నమో విష్ణవే బృహతే కరోమి. శుచిస్మృతి పురాణానామాలయం కరుణాలయం నమామి భగవత్పాద శంకరం లోకశంకరం. I offer my humble pranams at the lotus feet of His Holiness Jagadguru Shankaracharya Shri 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 Vijayendra Saraswati Swamiji of Kanchi Kanukoti Peeth. Sirs and madams and my dear friends, I congratulate all of you for joining this webinar hosted by, or rather organized by, Shri Kompella Sharma Garu, to whom we are indebted to a great extent. Friends, today's theme is about Dharma. Let us start with a Sanskrit verse, because today it is incidentally the day of Sanskrit celebrated throughout the country. Vidya dadati vinayam vinayadyati patratam patratvad dhanamapnoti dhanad dharmam tatas sukham. In this mundane world, in this physical world, what is the thing that is very much required, very much necessary to every being? Because the desires are different. One wants money, the other one wants health. Somebody else wants a house, somebody else wants a car. But there is a common thing which is required by everyone. That is actually sukham, happiness. You want money because you want to get the happiness which is derived from money. You want a vehicle because you want to get the happiness by driving the car. You want a house. Actually, what you want is the happiness which is caused by a house. You live in a house comfortably. Thereby you will feel the happiness. So all these things, they are converted into sukham. The medical people say, whatever you eat, either rice or pulses or other things, it will get converted into, is digested and converted into glucose. In the similar fashion, there are innumerable desires to innumerable beings. But all the desires, if they are fulfilled, they are converted into sukha, which is enjoyed by the being. Sukha is the foremost thing, the utmost thing, the highest thing, the mostly required thing. So how to get that sukha? The only cause or way you get sukha is through dharma. Dharma is the root cause of all the happiness. Without dharma, there is no happiness. It will be proved. Please wait. So then, if dharma is established as a cause of happiness, how to gain this dharma? That is explained by this verse. Vidya dadati vinayam. First of all, you study well. You try to understand what the Vedas, Puranas, Itihasas, Shastras and other scriptures, what they speak, what they are telling, what type of message they are spreading. You try to understand. Vidya dadati vinayam. So then automatically you will become vinita, proudless, prideless. When the tree is having a lot of fruits, then automatically the branches come down because of the weight of the fruits. If there are no fruits, the branches of a tree will be upwards. They become downwards when there are fruits. In similar fashion, when you are equipped with sufficient knowledge of Vedas and other scriptures, then you will become very humble. Vidya dadati vinayam. The result of study of Vedas and other scriptures is humbleness. If you are humble, then you will get qualified. Vinaya dhyati patratam. Patrata means qualification. See, one wants a job. For that job, a particular qualification is prescribed. That is written. That much alone is not sufficient. We interview that person. We try to assess his character, his behavior, and other things. These also do matter. They are also valid points for appointing a person in a particular post, not just educational qualifications. So, first you acquire the educational qualification by virtue of studying the Vedas and other things. That is one step. That is the first step. The second step is Vinaya Dhyati Patrata. You become qualified. By what? By your Vinaya. Vinaya means humbleness. This includes several points like your behavior, character, or whatever you call. By virtue of these things, coupled with your knowledge, you will become qualified. If you are qualified, then you are in a position to earn money. Suppose you studied and you have pleasant manners. You are very humble and you are very humble. You are liked by others. So your behavior is sweet. Then you are fully qualified, you are appointed. You will get a job. By the job, you will be earning money. Patratvat dhanamapnoti. You begin to, you start to earn money. Patratvat dhanam apnoti. So, if you utilize this wealth or money or dhana, which you have earned in a prescribed manner, in a congenial fashion to dharma, then the dharma will give you the fruit of sukha. So, vidya dadati vinayam, vinaya adyati patratam, patratvat dhanamapnoti, dhanat dharmam, tataha sukha. If there is no dharma, there is no sukha. In order to perform dharma, you need energy, energy in the form of wealth. For that sake, you should be humble, vinaya. For that sake, you should study the Vedas. That's why the Mimamsa Shastra says, Swadhyayodhyetavyaha. You study the scriptures first, then it will unfold in front of you. Everything will be everything will be disclosed. Everything becomes open to you. You have to put your first step. Suppose this is like an escalator. If you take the first step, then the escalator will take you to the last. In similar fashion, if you determine your senses to study the Vedas and understand them well, then everything is followed one by one after the other. Vidya dadati vinayam vinayat yati patratam patratvat dhanamapnoti dhanat dharmam tatas sukham, which is required by all the beings. Sukha is the sukha is the thing which is enjoyed and required by all the beings, not just human beings, but every creature. So this verse was clearly explained by Kavikula Guru Kalidasa in his famous Kavya of Raghuvamsha in the first canto. Shaishavebhyasta vidyanam yavvane vishayishinam vardhake munivrittinam yoge nante tanutyajam. So our ultimate goal is sukha. Which kind of sukha? That we will discuss later. There are two types of sukhas. One is the sukha or happiness which you enjoy in this world. That is temporary. There is another sukha which is eternal. That is attained by moksha. That is also sukha. But there is a lot of difference. This is also sukha. Moksha Sukha is also Sukha. Both the Sukhas, both kinds of happiness, you will get only by Dharma. There is no other goal. To achieve this end, this target or artha, the goal, our ancient sages, they have designed the lifestyle. We will prepare our schedule and follow the schedule so that we can have a systematic life. Or if it is a day's schedule, if it is scientifically designed and prepared, then you will lose nothing. Everything is achieved. In similar fashion, suppose a man lives for 100 years. For the span of 100 years, what is the schedule? Our sages have prepared and gave us, but we are not paying any heed to it. That is, in our society itself, in the form of ashramas, brahmacharya ashrama, grahastha ashrama, vanaprastha ashrama, and sannyasa ashrama. Suppose one lives for 100 years, 25 years, you study well. That is brahmacharya. You study all the Vedas, Vedangas, and other allied sciences. Become a perfect Pandit. Then another 25 years, you marry, you enjoy the world, you perform yajna, yaga, etc., dana, dharma, etc. Next 25 years, you start towards detachment. You start your journey towards detachment. Then the last 25 years, you be a sannyasin, renounce everything and concentrate only on moksha. That is your ultimate goal. This is how we can make our life significant, meaningful. Artha means meaning. Purusha Artha. The meaning of Purusha, the man's life, is Purushartha, nothing else. Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. These are the 4 stages. To achieve these stages, our rishis have scientifically designed our life, or rather prepared a schedule for our life in the form of ashramas. In the earlier verse also, we had the same concept. Vidya dadati vinayam. First you study and become a pandit. Vinayad jati patrata. Patratva dhanamapnoti. You earn money. Dhanad dharmam. Then you perform dharma. Then you will get sukha. That is the order, one after the other. The steps, the ladder. That's why people say dharmo rakshati rakshitah. Dharmo vishwasya jagata pratishtha. That's why Veda says dharmo vishwasya jagata pratishtha. Pratishtha means not name and fame. Pratishtha means the consolidation, the maintenance. How the entire universe, the creation is maintained, it is maintained by dharma. Dharmo vishwasya jagataha. Not just this world which is visible to us. There are several worlds but are not visible. Even in those invisible worlds, dharma prevails. And that alone maintains the entire creation. dharmo vishwasya jagata pratishtha. Therefore, friends, whether dharma is significant today or not, this question need not be asked. As long as the creation is there, every day, every second, everywhere, dharma is significant. Because without dharma, there is no creation. There is no maintenance of the creation even. So, thus we can understand the significance and relevance of that. So, today we are celebrating Sanskrit Day. We have started with a Sanskrit verse, that's why. In similar fashion, we need not plan for a Dharma Day. Dharma is significant every day, every second of everybody's life, in every world. So, Dharma is all pervasive, omnipresent, and omnipotent. Dharmo Vishwasya Jagata Pratishtha. Even Veda orders you, Dharmanchara. Actually, the word Dharma, I searched and searched, asked several scholars also, what is the synonym for Dharma? In some of the dictionaries, we find it is righteousness. But the word righteousness, I think, cannot cover all the aspects of Dharma. Dharma, the word Dharma itself is unique, indefinable. So, Dharma is such a wonderful thing, such a wonderful concept for which there is no exact synonym in other languages. So, it is better to refer to the concept as Dharma itself. Dharmanchara, Veda says. Rather, it is an order. Chara. Chara means achara. You perform, you follow. You follow the dharmic path. Chara. Chara gati bhakshani. Chara gacha. You follow, you go in the dharmic path. Dharmanna pramaditavyam. Sometimes you may ignore something. You may sometimes ignore your money also. You may ignore your friends. Sometimes you may even ignore your own health. But never ignore dharma. That's what Veda says. Even if you ignore all these things, if you protect dharma, dharma will help you to regain all those which you have lost. All those things which you have lost. So if you just stick on to dharma, everything comes in your way. You will never be dissatisfied. Dharma, what Bhagavad Gita says. Do your duty. Krishna teaches to Arjuna. Come on, go and fight. Kill the enemies. Destroy the army, opposition army, and rule the kingdom. Is it really dharma? Yes, it is dharma. हतो वा प्राप्स्यसि स्वर्गम् जित्वा वा भोक्ष्यसे महीम् तस्मादुत्तिष्ठ कौन्तेय युद्धाय कृतनिश्चयः. Make up your mind to fight. सुख दुःखे समे कृत्वा लाभालाभौ जयाजयौ ततो युद्धाय युज्यस्व नैनं पापमवाप्स्यसि. Killing so many people, including elders, gurus, relatives, forefathers, is not a sin. Tato yuddhaya yujyasva nainam papamavapsyasi. You fight for your dharma. Fighting is the dharma of a kshatriya. You are a kshatriya. So you fight. Do your duty. If you perform your duty, you are never touched by sin. There is no papa. Tato yuddhaya yujyasva nainam papamavapsyasi. Actually, be it a Purana, be it an Itihasa or Bhagavad Gita, it is the essence of Vedas. What is told here as Kshatriya Dharma, fighting is a Kshatriya Dharma, so you do it, is actually derived from a Vedic sentence in Shatapatha Brahmana of Madhyandana Shakha. Tadetat kshatrasya kshatram yad dharmaha tasmad dharmat param nasti. Shatapatha Brahmana of Madhyandana branch, 14th Achaya, 4th Prapataka, and 2nd Anvaka. It is clearly told here. Tadetat kshatrasya kshatram yat dharma. This is the Kshatriya Dharma. You are a born warrior. You enjoy in the battlefield. So you fight with your enemy. This is Kshatriya Dharma. That's what Shatapatha Brahmana says. Veda says. Tadetat kshatrasya kshatram yad dharma tasmat dharmat param nasti. So friends, whether we study Puranas, Shastras, Itihasas or Kavyas, they all reflect the essence of Veda. Now I will tell you an interesting thing. So there are so many prizes, so many testimonials, so many compliments for Dharma. Dharma is this, that, very great. True, Dharma is very great. And Dharma is ever active, ever vigilant. I'll tell you how it is. Friends, we are walking on the street. In front of you, you will find a 100 rupee note. Somebody dropped it. Somebody lost it. It is seen by you. Then a normal human being, what he does, he looks this way and that way, whether he is seen by others or not. If nobody is there, then we will pick up. I will pick up. See, it is myself. I'm going on the street. I found a 100 rupee note. Then how I behave? I stare this way and that way. If nobody is nearby me and nobody is watching me, then I will pick up this note and keep in my pocket. If somebody is there watching me, then I will call him, sir, you see, someone has lost his money. Is this yours? This is the way how he behave. When you are watched by others, your behavior will be different. And when you are sure that you are not watched by others, then your behavior will be something else. But there is a supercomputer which watches every being every second. There is an interesting verse passage in Mahabharata. Ahascha ratrischa ubhecha sandhye. So the creator, after creation or along with the creation, he has installed so many electronic eyes or CC cameras, what we call in our present language. They will be watching us. Sometimes we find some notices on the walls. You are now in the zone of CC camera. You are now covered by CC cameras. In similar fashion, the Almighty, the Creator, he has also established some CC cameras that watch us every second, every fraction of second. Ahascha ratrischa ubhecha sandhye. The verse goes like this. Ahascha, the daytime is a spy which watches all our activities. Ratrischa, the nighttime. The nighttime is a spy, a secret agent of the Creator, a CC camera of the Creator created. Ubhecha sandhye. And in between the day and night, or night and day, there are some linking times. Those linking times are called sandhyas. They also watch us. They also watch us. And the directions, east, south, west, north, these directions, and the subdirections, Agneya, Nairuti, Vayavya, Ishanya, and the upper direction and the lower direction. 10 directions. Dasha Dikkulu, Dasha Disha. Dasha Dishala Vyapinchindi antaru. 10 directions. All the 10 directions will be watching you every minute, every second, every fraction of a second. Like this, another CC camera is there, which is called Kala, the Kala Chakra. It moves while moving, a rotating camera. While moving, it takes note of each and everything performed by each and everybody. Kala is there to watch you. Why though there are so many CC cameras? Why there are so many watching agents? Suppose the first camera, unfortunately, it could not record your good deeds or misdeeds. It has failed. Then the second one will take care of you. There, in that camera, it will be recorded. If the second camera fails, then the third camera, if it fails, the fourth one, if it fails, the next one, like that. Suppose from day Sandhya night, Sandhya, and day, then all the directions, diks, ashas, east, west, etc. And then the Kala Chakra. If all of them fail, sometimes even the Kala Chakra fails. Nimishe Naimisharanye Munayasya Unukadayah. Naimisharanya is there. For one lipta, one fraction of a second, the Kala Chakra stopped there. Thus, even the Kala Chakra sometimes may stop. Fearing that the Creator has established dharma above all these CC cameras. If the first one fails, even the second one fails. If all the cameras fail, including Kala Chakra, dharmascha janati narasya vrittam, everything will be recorded in dharma. Dharma will not stop. It will never stop. So friends, let us be very vigilant. Our behavior should be one and the same when you are watched or when you are not watched. Because dharma is watching you. So, how can we say that dharma is significant today? So, friends, dharma, as I already told you, it is a peculiar, unique aspect which is very, very difficult to define. The Mimamsakas may define, yes, we can define, we have defined. They have given a definition to dharma. What is it? Chodana lakshanortho dharmaha. Athava Veda pratipadya prayojanavadartho dharma. That which is proposed by Vedas for doing and which has a positive result, that is dharma. This is a definition given. Okay, but this is a definition given by words. I can give the meaning of the words in different languages. But I am sure my providing the translations will not help you in understanding the actual aspect of dharma. That's why Laugaksh Bhaskara says, Yagadireva dharmaha. You do whatever ordained by Vedas. You avoid what is prohibited by Vedas. What is prohibited by Vedas is adharma. You avoid it. What is ordered by Vedas to perform or to do is dharma. You follow it. But sometimes I get a doubt whether this is dharma or that is dharma. What actually Veda orders me to do. I'll give you an example. Sir, you speak always truth. There is no doubt it is dharma. Don't lie. Even here you don't have any doubt because it is adharma. It is decided. The differential line between dharma and adharma is very narrow. There is a hairline difference, which is very difficult to understand. I will explain. There was a sage who was performing penance, tapascharya in a forest. He was sitting comfortably under a tree, and his ashrama was nearby. He was performing some tapascharya. Some thieves, they have looted the money, the wealth of a king, and they fled away into the forest. They were passing through, they were running, and the security forces of the king were chasing them. The thieves came there, and they hid somewhere in the ashram, in the hut built by this sage, thinking that the security guards of the king will not trespass into the sage's hut because it is a pious zone. They took refuge. So then afterwards, after a few minutes, the police force of the king came. They have asked the sage whether he has seen any thieves and whether he knew where they hid themselves. So now, tell me what should be the answer of this sage? If he says, I don't know, I have not seen, this will be a lie, adharma. So he did not want to commit adharma. He did not want to say untruthful thing. So he simply told, yes, I saw them. They are now hiding themselves in my hut. Immediately, the guards of the king, they enter into the hut, dragged them out, beheaded them, and took away the entire money. So actually, by saying a small lie, he could have saved the lives. The sage could have saved the life, but he did not. That's why he got huge amount of sin. And when he shut down his mortal body, the messengers of Yama came and dragged him to Naraka. Then he questioned, I never spoke any lie in my entire life. How is it that I was brought here into the Naraka? Then Yamadharmaraja explained, sometimes the anartha means lie becomes dharma. Sometimes the truth becomes adharma. You could not differentiate. So, as a result, you are brought here. That was the reply given by Dharmaraja. So, friends, the line of difference between dharma and adharma, it is very difficult to understand. That's why we seek the help of Vedas, Shastras, Puranas, Itihasas. And above all this, we take the advices of elderly persons, gurus, Peetadipatis, Matadipatis, We go to Kanchi to get clarification from the Jagat Guru. That is our practice. Because nahi sarvas sarvam janati. The knowledge is infinite. Nobody knows the end of it. So it is difficult to understand what is dharma and adharma. For that purpose, we should take refuge at the feet of Jagat Guru. He will show us the path of dharma, which we can follow with confidence. Sometimes we will be in dilemma, either this way or that way. Then what shall we do? We take the advice or the guidance of Jagat Guru. He will show us the path. Then you will become confident. Proceed, and you will reach the right goal of dharma. Friends, another thing very interesting is, this is also from Mahabharata. Dharmaraja is advised to learn about dharma from a butcher, Vyadha. In the city, there is a butcher. He cuts the meat and flesh and sells it. Should Dharmaraja go to him to learn about dharma? Yes, that was the advice given to him. He simply followed. He went to Dharma Vyadha and asked him to enlighten him about dharma. What is the actual concept of dharma? The fundamental question is, a person, a butcher, a slaughterer, how he can preach dharma? In fact, he never kills. That's what the Vyadha says. I'm not killing any being, any bird, or any animal. Somebody kills. I just sell them. This is my Kula Dharma. I'm following my dharma. He is serving his old parents, is taking care of them. He is doing all kinds of dharma deeds that are ordained to his kula, to his caste. Yes, you do this. Just when we discussed about the incident in Bhagavad Gita, we discussed about Kshatriya Dharma. He has to follow that. He has to fight because he is a Kshatriya. Because he is a butcher, he is a slaughterer, he is destined to sell the meat and flesh. He is doing what is ordered for him. And he knows the maximum point of dharma, the culmination of dharma, where dharma culminates. Actually, he is a Siddha Purusha who studied the Vedas, Shastras, etc. and digested them just for the sake of a small amount of papa, which has to be drained by taking birth and enjoying the dukkha, enjoying the sorrow, experiencing the sorrow. He will finish the little bit amount of papa, then he will get liberated. So such kind of Siddha Purushas are there. From them we can know dharma. So the concept of dharma is very, very tough to understand. It's very difficult. That's why in his Smriti, Manu says, Arshan dharmopadeshancha Veda Shastra Virodhina Yastarkenanusandhatte Sadharmam Vedanetaraha. To understand dharma, it is not just sufficient if you read the books on Dharma Shastra. Dharma Shastra is there. You study all those books. You may understand dharma to some extent. But the Dharma Shastra Grantha, the foremost Dharma Shastra Grantha, Manusmriti itself says, studying and understanding the books alone is not sufficient to understand the concept of dharma. There is something else. Arshan dharmopadeshancha. A dharma is that which is preached by ancient sages, mantra drashtas, rishis. In the Rishi Parampara, in the Guru Parampara, what is prescribed for you is dharma. Arshan dharmopadeshancha. Then, after understanding all these things, Veda Shastra Virodhinaya Starkena Anusandhatte. Then you apply your mind in the Sankata Sthiti, in the status of in the stages of dilemma, the state of doubt, whether this is dharma or that is dharma. Then you apply your mind. Veda Shastra Avirodhina. Your mind, not a fickle mind, a mind which is consecrated by the study of Vedas, Shastras and Puranas and seva of serving of gurus. That type of mind, you apply that mind. Veda Shastra Avirodhina Tarkena, logic. There are two options. There are two ways. One has to be opted. Which way to opt? You apply your mind and logic, which is in parity, the logic which is in parity with Veda. You apply that logic with your mind, then dharma will reveal itself. Sadharmam Vedanetaraha. He is the person who can make you understand about dharma. Arshan dharmopadeshancha yas tarkena anusandhatte Veda Shastra avirodhina yas tarkena anusandhatte sadharmam Veda netaraha. So even Manu expressed his humbleness in front of dharma and tells us that this is very difficult, my dear fellow creatures. You study the Vedas and try to understand the scriptures. You serve the elders, you serve the gurus. They will tell you. And if needed, you also apply your mind in a logical fashion. The logic should be in accordance with the Vedas and Shastras. then you can understand the concept of dharma. So, ladies and gentlemen, my dear young friends, I think today we have sufficiently discussed some aspects of dharma. One is dharma is the root cause of happiness. That is point number one. In point number two, whatever is ordained or ordered by Veda, that is dharma. If it is war, if it is penance, no matter, whatever it is ordered by Veda, you do that as Arjuna did. And then don't think that you are not watched by. There is dharma, dharmascha janati narasya vrittam. Every minute, every second, what you do, what you think, because thoughts are invisible, but they are also visible to dharma. Whatever you think, that is also recorded in this supercomputer. Suppose the mails we receive, some messages we receive, we will be happy. I have deleted them. But where they go, they will be safe in the data. In similar fashion, what you do, what you think, everything is recorded in the dharma. Dharmascha janati narasya vrittam. That is the next point. And the last point is the narrow difference between dharma and adharma. These are the things we have discussed in our interaction this evening. My dear friends, I accept my humbleness, my ignorance. If I have spoken anything useful to you, that is the blessings of Jagadguru Shankaracharya of Kanchi Kamakoti Peetham and my father, Brahmashri, late Sannidhanam Lakshminarayan Murthy Garu, who taught me Veda. If there is anything useless, rubbish, that is my contribution. So friends, this evening we stop here, and I once again wholeheartedly and thankfully congratulate Kompella Sharma Garu for giving me an opportunity to interact with all of you this evening. He is doing women's service, lot of service, and I pray the Lord and I pray the Jagadguru also to bless him sufficiently so that he will continue this mission in a more effective manner. Thank you, Ananda. Or if you have any questions, you are free to ask me. I don't know how far my ignorance allows me to answer them. Thank you.
Namaskaram, sir. It is we are pleased actually. It is not you saying that is, you are so humble to accept that, but we are all pleased to have you on our this thing program and giving us a knowledge, complete knowledge, and we are so thankful and the enlightening us and giving us whatever is a difficult topic of, as you mentioned it, dharma is very difficult to explain it as a particular narrowness of what is truth and what is dharma and what is not. You really given us a lot of enlightenment towards it. Thank you for it. I know that it is very busy schedule for you in this whole week, and tomorrow you have to be there in TTD Tirumala morning 7 o'clock.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So we
and
are organizing some programs there.
yes, sir.
On the
So,
6th morning at 7 a.m. Indian Standard Time.
hmm,
So you can also watch me on SVBC TV channel.
okay,
So
yeah,
I have designed some program,
hmm,
so that takes place
okay. On the 6th, sir, morning 7 o'clock.
7 p.m.
Okay, that is
7
recording
a.m. Sorry, 7 a.m.
7 a.m. Okay, and that is recording. You said like this is Hanuman Chalisa, right?
No. It is Sundarakanda of
Sundarakand,
Valmiki
sorry,
Ramayana.
yeah. Okay, and
It is a
I
live
don't want,
program.
yeah, I
Sir,
don't want to take a much time of yours, but still I will see if anybody have a little one or two questions. I'll just accept them too.
please, sir.
And
Welcome, sir. Welcome.
yeah, Chetan raised it. Let Chetan, yeah, go ahead. What is your question?
Namaskara, Guruji. I had a question about the story you said. So the sage, he told the truth, but why was it considered adharma?
Yeah, actually, in the penal code, there are several punishments. For a thief, there is a separate punishment. But instead of giving that punishment, the king's armed persons, policemen, they have killed them straight away. Killing a person is not a punishment. He has no right to kill them, but they have killed. The cause of their killing is the truth uttered by this sage. See, there is a Dharma Shastra, there is an order. Karta karayita chaiva prerakaschanumodakaha. Karta karayita chaiva prerakaschanumodakaha. These are chatvaras samabhaginaha. Sukrute dushkrute chaiva chatvaras samabhaginaha. Whether it is a good thing, sukrita, or bad thing, dushkrita, these four share the result equally. Karta, one who does. Karayita, one who plans and motivates. Prerakaha, Anumodakaha, one who accepts. All these will have share in good or bad things. So according to this law, this says has to enjoy his share of papa in killing, that brutal killing. Karta karayita chaiva prerakaschanumodakaha sukrute dushkrute chaiva chatvaraha samabhaginaha. They are partakers.
King also have a share of some kind of a
Definitely.
whatever the right?
Yeah. Rajyante narakandhrovam.
Yeah.
It is already told that if even if you think you are 100% pure, then Rajyante narakandhrovam.
Yeah. Somebody wants to ask a question that Rama sending a Sita to forest.
So,
lot of
a
time
very
to
long
explain.
explanation.
We will take it that one. Actually, we will say that like maybe in offline, we will, if you can share some kind of a logic or maybe an explanation for that, and we will share with them.
See, one thing,
yes,
one thing in nutshell I can tell. As I already told you, the dividing line of dharma and adharma is very narrow.
Right.
That's why sometimes we feel that somebody has committed adharma, but actually it should be dharma. So in similar fashion, we have to understand Rama's sending Sita to the forest. So this is all in the Uttarakanda. First of all, we have to establish whether it is the writing of Valmiki or not.
Right.
Even if it is so, how it can be justified in case of Rama, whom we think as an incarnation of Dharma. Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha.
Right.
So if the Almighty permits and I have another chance to interact with you, I will explain the dimensions of dharma. So dharma is of several kinds. Raja dharma is something different. Guru dharma is different. Shishya dharma is different. Brahmachari dharma is different. The dharma of a housewife is different.
Right.
So, some people may question even why Rama shot an arrow hiding himself beneath a tree to kill Wali. That is also questioned by some. And there is a very good reply that here the dharma or the law of forest will apply because he is a shakha mruga. He is a Vamana.
Right.
The civil law will not apply there.
Right, sir.
The jungle law will apply there. And Rama applied that law.
Yes.
And even in sending
Right,
Sita to forest, it is only a Raja dharma or some other kind of dharma.
We have to see which dharma falls in that kind of a category of it.
I confess that I do not know exactly. Let me refer the books and clarify the doubt. So which it is dharma, but one thing is sure that it is dharma.
It is dharma. Yeah.
But according to which law it is dharma? Is it the law of a husband or is it a law of a ruler?
Raja dharma. Yeah.
Yeah. What kind of dharma? But I have to. Yeah. That I have to get some information from the scripture. But one thing that it is as per the dharma.
And we have some kind of a samanya dharmas, right, sir? Whatever you are saying right now is a samanya dharma for applicable for everyone, like
rights.
It's not for something, right, sir? It is for some people.
Yeah, there are different kinds of rights, sir. The rights of there are fundamental rights. There are rights of children.
Right.
There are rights of patients.
Right.
There are rights of senior citizens. Even the dead bodies, they have some rights.
Yeah. In fact, Mahapeva said, this is a beauty of Samanya dharmas, the beauty of our dharma. He compared with other dharmas, like where it is failed. Like, for example, Buddhas, they say that is ahimsa, but they still eat today the ahimsa and they eat non-veg. But when it comes to our dharma, it says that is Samanya dharmas are common and someone can eat a non-veg. So that kind of flexibility it is given. So dharma is we have beautifully designed dharma. That's what once Perva said.
Yeah, that's why as I tell you, it is very difficult to understand dharma.
Right, sir.
Yeah, namaste, sir. I have a doubt on Manusmriti. You have mentioned that Manusmriti is the foremost dharma sutra for us.
Yeah.
Now, my question is, why is it vilified so much in today's context? Why is it so taken? I mean, why is it wrongly quoted? Why is it, might be a political question, but I just want to know, how do we convince people that Manusmriti is not such a narrow thing about caste?
The cause for this criticism of Manusmriti or downgrading the magnanimity of the Manusmriti is just ignorance of the contents, total contents of Manusmriti.
Right. First few points it is based on that only, right? You pointed out that is we have to study completely and then only we decide what is the dharma, then how to counter that one. As you rightly also said, like you wants to refer something to before answer it. So that is where we have to do it, that exercise for answering or classifying the each and every counter of dharma of that particular aspect.
So mainly because some people are furious regard to Manusmriti, Nastri Swatantriya Marhati, and
right, sir.
people feel that it promotes casteism
Right.
and rivalry. See, Manusmriti has given a description of various professions, including Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. Manusmriti never told to fight with each other. Manusmriti never created any hatred. You do this. See, we have our body. The head does its work. The eyes, they do their work. The ears, they do their duty. The nose, it performs its own duty. There are different kinds of duties assigned to different organs. All these castes are nothing but the organs of Virat Purusha or the society. They are the organs. Some are in the part of in the place of head. Some are in the place of the muscle power. Some are in the place of earning money, commerce. Some are in the place of service. See, the duties of military, three kinds of armed forces, that is different. Their rights are different. Their duties are different. The duties of doctors are different. Can you call it a caste? Should there be a fight between doctors and soldiers? Manusmriti never says that one is above the other. These are the parts, these are the systems to run the society. See, the same Manusmriti, people abuse that Nastri, it has told Nastri Swatantra Marhati. It is also not properly understood. Nastri Swatantra Marhati means the ladies are tender, delicate in nature. They are to be protected. See, sir, there is a tree, there is a mango tree. If you plant a sapling, it will grow on its own. Suppose there is a creeper, a jasmine or some other flower creeper, it needs a support. See, both are botanically, both are even from the viewpoint of ancient Shastra, both are udbijas. Udbijas, they come from seeds. They grow on the earth. But the growth of tree is something different. The growth of creeper is something different. It needs some support. So, Manusmriti says, they are our national, they are our wealth, they are our mothers. Even wife becomes a mother. We have to protect them. We have to salute them. It is the duty of the men to protect them. Is it not the duty of the soldiers on the border to protect us? We are being protected and they are protecting us. There is no point of downgrading anybody. The same Manusmriti says, yatra naryastu pujyante ramante tatra devata. And to perform any kind of dharma, the grahastha should have his wife on his left side. Without taking the permission of his wife, no Somayaji can perform his Somayaga. The first and foremost thing in performing the sacred Somayaga is seeking permission of the wife. If she permits, then only he can perform the Somayaga. When the wife permits, then only a person can take sannyasa ashrama, otherwise not.
Yes, sir. So much.
I feel that the people who do not have sufficient patience to go through the entire text of Manusmriti and the patience to understand it properly with the help of the commentaries, they may sometime form some misopinions and criticize it.
True, I agree. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
So, thank you, Sharma garu.
Sir,
I'm
yeah.
grateful to you for the opportunity given to me.
No, sir, you given us the opportunity to listen to you kind of a scholar. So we are very pleased, and we have to give a pranam, and it is all Periva Swamiji's blessings, and you
If,
accepted us.
So
Sir.
if you are likely to continue, likely to conclude,
Yes, sir.
let us have some Shanti Patha, sir.
Okay, sir. Please go ahead, sir. Shanti Patha.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Okay, sir. Thank you.